I'm Dave Dinkle, and in this video we're going to talk about loan modifications. This is the buzzword in the industry right now because most homeowners that are in foreclosure could almost make their mortgage payment if they had a job, and if the interest rate wasn't too high, and if the principal amount of the loan wasn't as high. Because what's happened very obviously is the market's changed in most parts of the country. And now the question becomes to the homeowner in the back of his mind, why should I even be making the mortgage payment? And a lot of people have abandoned their properties because of that. Tax laws are in the favor of homeowners, not investors. If you're a homeowner and you're considering, well, if I abandon my home, what's going to happen to me? They're going to get a deficiency judgment against me, or they're going to issue me a 1099-C, a miscellaneous ordinary income, which is like phantom income. You'd have to pay income taxes on it. We'll talk about that at length in another video. But let's talk about the loan modifications. This seems to be very simple. Call up the lender and say to them, I can't make that payment of $2,500 a month, but I know I can make $1,800 a month. Can you help me out? Now, the Fed is paying the lenders to do these loan modification packages. In fact, if you're already into a loan modification and frustrated by it, you'll know it's not working very well. They're not negotiating. If you do the loan modification, let's talk about what's required. The first thing is, and the most important thing in my mind, is they want a financial statement from you. They want to know where your assets are and how much they are. Now, that's not important in their making the decision. That's important in their hopefully looking into the future to see where they can collect a judgment from you. They'll look at that financial statement and they'll see that you have $20,000. It may be your life savings, and it may be at a local bank. That will give them the leverage to say to you, okay, we'll do the loan modification, we'll reduce the interest rate, we'll extend the term of the loan, combination of both, but we want you to pay $10,000 or $20,000 up front to do that, to keep your home from going in foreclosure. These are not good negotiation tactics or fair to the homeowners. Not that anything in life is fair, but you've got to stand up for your own rights. Simply know, and I'm not telling you in any way, shape, or form to falsify that financial statement. That could be construed as fraud, as bank fraud. However, just know that those assets that are on there are fully open and collectible to the bank if they choose to do the deficiency judgment, which is not likely. Under a law that Bush signed that's good through 2012, the homeowner is given a huge benefit tax-wise, and it's only fair, frankly. So anyway, let's talk about how the loan modification works. You have that financial package. If there's a problem with a home where it needs fixing up, you can include that in the package, but basically you send that in. They're going to review it. They're not quick. The average loan modification rep might have 400 to 500 cases he's working on. The longer they can postpone giving you the loan modification, the more money they'll make in the long run, because they're going to increase the principal amount of the loan mod itself because of the payments you haven't made. Speaking of payments, I think one of the greatest travesties in the way the lenders are working is they force you to be in foreclosure, to be more than 90 days late before they'll talk to you about the loan modification. Now, frankly, that's just vindictiveness on their part. There is no other reason that you need to be in foreclosure. They're forcing your hand to ruin your credit. We'll talk about some ways to restore your credit later, as well as some ways where you can get financing or buy another home with no money, no credit, and no risk. But let's go on. In the loan modification arena, what you want to do is expect to work backwards on what you can afford. You can go online to any number of sites that have mortgage calculators. Now, the big key here is if they reduce the interest rate, let's say you have a 30-year mortgage for $200,000 and the interest rate is 6.5%. If they reduce it to 3.5%, how much is that going to affect your mortgage? Actual monthly mortgage payment. Now, taxes and insurance are going to stay the same. So go to one of those mortgage calculators online and plug in 6.5, see if it's your right mortgage payment. Should be principal and interest. And then plug in 2.5%, and then plug in 3. And when you come to a number that you can afford, you know where you are. The big key here is, can you get a principal reduction? That depends on your making a case for the values in your neighborhood are substantially lower. That's the key. Most people don't care about that. That's what the lender cares about. If he has to take the property back through foreclosure, this is an insider industry secret. It costs him between $40,000 and $45,000 for that foreclosure on average. He's going to calculate that into his reward ratio of giving you the loan modification. So go around in your neighborhood. I detail it in the book how to do it, but call every listed property, every FSBO, make a list of them, and negotiate hard to buy that property, because that's your competition if they have to sell your house. And you can also look at foreclosures in the public records. A realtor could help you with that, or another investor that has a data source such as RealQuest or ZimaUSA.com. At any rate, they are giving principal reductions despite what they're saying. As I mentioned in another video, one of our homeowners had a principal reduction from $268,000 to $67,000. Now, this was a payoff. They came and said, pay us $67,000, you're out of the loan. However, we did an analysis of the neighborhood. Her property was probably worth no more than about $70,000. So she couldn't get a hard money loan to refinance it. We sent her in that direction, but the reality is hard money lenders are predatory lenders. They want to make money if they have to foreclose, and they look forward to foreclosing. They couldn't make any money on that property. So I referred her through the list of things to do, another 30 options, and she found an option to do it. But they are giving principal reductions. You have to force their hand. The only way to do that is to move towards foreclosure. You have legal rights to stop it. We'll talk about that in coming videos. This information is not to be construed as legal or accounting advice. If you need legal or accounting advice, see a CPA or an attorney.